I think most of us assumed that it would be Roode winning the title and then Storm eventually turning heel on him. But Storm winning the title in a surprise twist and then Roode turning heel on him? That could work too. Hell, in a way, that might even be better. If that's what they have planned for this, and we don't know if it is yet. But the seeds for it are already planted, and if this plays out the right way, this could be an epic feud. I just hope to God they take their time with it. Don't rush into anything, keep it organic, don't have them start feuding right away, have Storm be a long-term champion and slowly build up the tension between them over time, and then pay it off when people are just dying to see it. And I think that's going to be the key to this, because this feud could be amazing as long as they're patient and they don't pull the trigger on it too soon. It's going to be all about letting that tension build up to a boiling point and paying it off at the right time. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We don't even know if that's where they're going with this yet. For now, however, I'm pretty damn excited. Okay, sorry this one is so late, but I'm finally back up and running now after the October snowstorm did its best to do me in. So, let's talk about what is now last week's Impact. Now, since Pritchard took over as head writer, we've seen some pretty big changes in the formatting of the show. Pritchard obviously likes a slower pace and letting things play out in a more natural way, instead of just blasting through everything at a breakneck speed like Russo did. This didn't happen right away, though. There's been an adjustment period, clearly, but it looks like they're starting to get their new formula worked out now, as the time management has been improving week to week. Now this, I thought, was the best-paced show since Pritchard took over. Not quite perfect yet, but none of the matches felt too short, none of the segments went too long, and the main event actually got a good deal of time. Also, something I was very happy about, they actually explained why Bischoff and Karen Jarrett still have their jobs. Bischoff said to Sting that all the Immortal members had ironclad contracts and they couldn't be fired. I don't think that's entirely bulletproof, but you know what? That's a reasonable explanation. It shows that they're trying to cover their bases storyline-wise, and that's all I was asking for. Thank you. I'll take it. Plot hole, be gone. But along with the radically improved pacing and the more logical creative process, there's a different set of problems to deal with now too. I think I said this in the last video. Since they're focusing on a fewer number of storylines now, the real issue is going to be in choosing which ones get priority over others. And this is where I think they're kind of faltering a little bit. I don't think it's a huge problem. Pritchard has a better handle on this than Russo ever did. For example, there's been no sign of Mexican America anywhere since Bound for Glory, and there were rumors that Pritchard made the decision to kill the Pope Devon feud. Thank you. But then there's some other nonsense that I really don't care about, and I don't think it should be getting featured when there are other more important things that they should be doing. This feud with Bischoff and his son. Why is this happening? If the purpose of this is to ultimately get Bischoff off the show for a while, I like that. But why is Garett Bischoff, of all people, getting this push, besides the obvious nepotism factor, I mean? What is it about Garett Bischoff that makes people think he should be in this spot? Now, I've been lurking around some message boards, and there are some people who seem to like this guy, but I just don't understand why. Apparently, he's going to be getting in the ring now, but we don't even know if he can wrestle worth a crap. He hasn't proven anything in that regard. And here, he had his first kind of lengthy promo, and I'm sorry, but I didn't think he was that good at all. He was really monotone, he didn't show any emotion, he was stumbling over his words at times. Generally, he just seemed really uncomfortable on the microphone. And maybe he'll get better with practice, I don't know, but considering the spot he's in, maybe he'll get better with practice isn't what we should be saying about him. Granted, the live crowd did like it when he punched out Bischoff, but that's because it's Bischoff. People hate that motherfucker. Would Garett be over whatsoever if you took Bischoff away? Beats me, but I kind of doubt it. He doesn't seem ready for this at all if you ask me. And here's a crazy thought. TNA just signed a deal with OVW to be their new developmental territory. Why don't you send Garett down there for a while and bring him back when he's more prepared? I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here because I have been screaming at TNA for a long time to put more focus on creating new stars. But this guy has shown me absolutely nothing that makes me think he deserves this push over Magnus or Alex Shelley or someone like that.
You people are fools!
Thankfully, he wasn't as overexposed as he was last week. He only had one in-ring segment instead of two, but I still think they're putting too much focus on him. I mean, I look at Garett Bischoff and I don't get it. To me, this doesn't feel like TNA trying to create a new star. This feels like Bischoff using his stroke in the company to pimp his son all over the TV show when he just doesn't seem ready for it.
This whole show is ridiculous!
Then there's the Jersey Shore thing. You know what bugged me the most about this? It wasn't Robbie E and Rob Terry, even though they are absolutely intolerable. It wasn't Eric Young, even though he annoys the piss out of me. It was the fact that they had freaking Ronnie from the Jersey Shore wearing the old World Heavyweight title belt.
This whole show violates everything about my journalistic integrity!
Was anyone else having David Arquette flashbacks? I guarantee you that was a Russo idea. I mean, Jesus Christ, how fucking disrespectful to your championships is that? And then Taz was saying that he didn't know which belt was the TV title and which one was the belt that Eric Young dug out of the garbage, as if there's any real difference at this point. This was so disgusting to me that it really just made me want to...
Oh my God, he's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke! He's gonna puke!
So that Zack Ryder wannabe, Robbie E, comes out. And probably because TNA wants us all to kill ourselves, he once again brought Rob Terry with him. Ha-ha! These jackasses call out Eric Young and Ronnie, and they get into a brawl which sets up a match for next week. And this, I think, was more effective than the JWoww Angelina stuff. Number one, because it actually got some ratings this time. I'm guessing due to the fact that it was actually set up better. And number two, there was actually a reason for Ronnie to be there. With JWoww and Angelina, they just seemed to show up for no reason. And here, at least it was motivated by something. And Eric Young brings him in because he wants Ronnie to help him fight these two idiots. Which is... better, I guess. At least that's some kind of reason. That being said, this was still stupid as all hell. In fact, I'm really starting to think that the only reason why Robbie E still has a job with this company is so they can continue to bring in more Jersey Shore cast members and give them someone to feud with. That's the only way it makes any sense to me. The last time this loser was used in any kind of significant way, I think, was when Angelina was there. After that, he kind of dropped off the map. You know, he'd be a place filler in a match here, a match there, but for the most part, he wasn't doing a damn thing. Then TNA brings in Ronnie from the Jersey Shore, and suddenly, hey look, it's Robbie E, he's back. I mean, good God, how much more proof do you need? I mean, here, you've got this waste of human plasma with a Jersey Shore gimmick, calling out a Jersey Shore cast member just so he can tell him to his face that Jersey Shore sucks. All done just so they can set up a match where, presumably, he's going to job to this guy. Now, if the end result of all this is that the celebrity makes Robbie E look like a jackass, then I guess it won't be all bad, but still, I don't care about this shit at all.
I was a war correspondent, and now I'm covering this!
Now, once you get past that crap, this show had a lot of good things about it. There was a decent X Division match with Austin Aries and Jesse Sorensen. I didn't care for Kid Cash on commentary, though. He just seemed kind of over the top to me, but the match was alright. Although, I'm getting tired of seeing just these three guys so much. I mean, they've got almost a whole new X Division roster now, and these guys and Brian Kendrick are the only ones who ever get featured. I do like Sorensen, and he's done a good job so far, but where's Mark Haskins? Where's Tony Nese? I really want to see them actually start to get some use out of this new talent they've got. I think Zema Ion is supposed to be on the show next week, so that's good. Hopefully that'll lead to something. Let's get some of those other guys in there and stir the pot a little bit. We have new Knockout Tag Team Champions, Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. Did that come out of nowhere? Yeah. Was it too soon for this? Maybe. And if the Knockout Tag Team titles actually meant something, I might be more upset about that. But they really don't. So I didn't have any particularly strong feelings about it. I did like Tara and Tessmacher as the champions, but I'm certainly not going to complain about Gail Kim having a title again. I don't even mind that much that Madison Rayne is her partner. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, it seems that TNA might have finally figured out what they need to do with Madison Rayne. The only way she ever gets any kind of crowd response is when she's standing next to people who are actually over. The one time she was over in the past was when she was in the Beautiful People, because the Beautiful People were over as a faction. And when she's out there by herself, you hear nothing but crickets. But Gail Kim and Karen Jarrett are over, so you put Madison in there, and she should be over by association as long as she's with them. Number two, if Madison is one half of a tag team, that'll hopefully mean no more singles pushes for her, which is a very good thing. And number three, if she's teaming with Gail, that might force Madison to either start putting more effort into her matches or just take a back seat and let Gail do all the work. And if you notice, that's basically what happened here. Gail did pretty much all the work for the heels, and Madison was just a beat-up dummy for the faces, which was probably the most intelligently Madison Rayne has been booked in God knows how long. And you know what? I thought the match was just fine. I like that Brooke and Tara were actually presented like a tag team for once instead of just two random singles wrestlers. That's what this tag team division has been missing, actual teams. And yes, there was interference, but the interference only happened once. Karen picked her spot and only stepped in when doing so would actually change the outcome of the match, thus making the interference more impactful. Now, if Vince Russo had booked this, Karen would have been interfering every few seconds, and the finish would have come after 2 or 3 ref bumps. Thankfully, Vince Russo doesn't have the final say about this stuff anymore. Matt Morgan called out Crimson and challenged him to a match at Turning Point. This was set up previously by the angle with Samoa Joe. I've heard some people kind of bash this segment. I thought it was good. Morgan's speaking skills have really improved. He's slowed down the verbiage so he's not a motor mouth anymore. And Crimson's getting better too. That was probably the most comfortable he's looked on the mic so far. So I thought the exchange between them was fine. But some of their comments didn't totally ring true to me. First of all, calling this a dream match is being a little generous. Crimson hasn't been around that long yet, and Morgan really hasn't been as dominant as he said he was. Yeah, he was near the top of the leaderboard in the Bound for Glory series, but for a long time before that, for a couple of years actually, Morgan was booked as a guy who could be beaten pretty quickly and easily a lot of the time. Thank you very much, Vince Russo. I mean, sure, he's been booked stronger recently, but it didn't really feel like he'd earned some of those claims he was making. Another thing is, I'm not really sure if this is the best thing to be doing with Crimson right now. If they want him to get over as a face, is it really a good idea to keep matching him up against other faces and heels who get cheered? That doesn't seem like an effective way to get this guy over, in my opinion. Unless they want to turn him heel at some point, which I would not be against at all. I mean, hell, I'm starting to wonder if Crimson wouldn't be better as a heel. He did kind of seem like he had a heelish edge to him in this segment. Anyway, I don't have a problem with the match. It could be decent if they give it a chance. Traditionally, big men matches tend to be pretty boring, unless you've got agile big men, which both these guys are. So, give them a shot. Maybe they'll do something good here. And then there was beer money and the heel turn of Bobby Roode. TNA was smarter in how they presented Storm and Roode this week. They got the opening spot and the main event spot. They didn't have to play second fiddle to the Bischoffs or anyone else. They got plenty of time for their promos in the first segment, both of which were really good, and their match wasn't cut short on time. In fact, it got almost 15 minutes, and it was a great match. Then this happened.
What the fuck?
TNA, do you even remotely understand the concept of decompressed storytelling? Who am I kidding? Of course you don't. I think we all assumed Roode was going to turn heel on Storm eventually, but like I said last time, a slow build-up to that would have been so much more effective, not to mention much more true to these characters. These guys were best friends. They were like brothers for years. When he won the title, Roode was really happy for Storm, and he said he deserved to be the champion, even after Storm literally handed the title over to him. And now we're supposed to believe that Roode's entire character could do a complete 180 on all that after just 2 weeks?
Oh, what a bunch of bull.
They basically took what ideally should have been at least 3 months worth of escalating tension and jealousy and condensed it into a matter of days. And I just don't buy that. It's too sudden. And I've heard some people make the argument that TNA did what we all originally expected. They put the world title on Bobby Roode and turned beer money against each other. They just took the predictability out and did it in a way that we didn't see coming. And I understand that viewpoint, but let me give you an example here. Edge and Christian. To this day, I still consider the Edge and Christian breakup the best tag team breakup angle I've ever seen. And there was nothing particularly different or original about it. It was just a simple story about a guy getting jealous of his partner told really well. We all knew that moment was drawing closer and closer when Christian was finally going to turn on Edge. We all knew it was coming. But that didn't make it any less meaningful or less impactful when it happened. In fact, that storyline was better for not having any weird swerves in it because it was just about staying true to how these characters would behave under those circumstances. Now sure, maybe it was predictable in a traditional sense, but you know what? If you have a well-told story that's executed the right way, that doesn't really matter. You know, sometimes just going for simple human drama is more compelling than unpredictability.
Sometimes the best twist is no twist at all.
Exactly! I agree, Spoonie, thank you. Not that this angle was badly executed in and of itself. There was that bit at the end where Roode saw the beer bottle and he was staring at it just contemplating whether or not to use it. That was a great, great moment. I'll bet you anything Pritchard was responsible for putting that in. If Russo had booked this match, I highly doubt bothering to do something like that would even occur to him. So the angle itself was well done. I just feel like it happened too soon. If they had done that exact same finish at Genesis after very subtly building up Roode's bitterness and jealousy for 3 months, then I'd be raving about this. But that's not the way it happened. I really don't agree with how this all turned out. I did want to see Beer Money break up and feud for the world title, and yes, making Storm the face and Roode the heel may very well have been the better way to go about this. I just don't like how they got there. But it's done now. Bobby Roode is the world champion. James Storm is going to chase the title. We've got 2 fresh faces in the main event scene. TNA originals, in fact. And despite the flawed way it all happened, that's still pretty damn cool. And will the ends justify the means here? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out. Hello, people. Well, it's about 3:30 in the morning right now, according to my iPod. Power's been out since about 6 o'clock last night. My neighborhood is buried under over a foot of snow. I'm wide awake, and I am bored out of my mind. I never knew how addicted to the internet I was until I didn't have it anymore. I tried reading a book for a while, then I got bored with that. And then I had nothing to do again, so for lack of any better ideas, I turned the camera on. I'm so bored. So what do you guys do when you got no power? And if anyone's wondering, this is what I'm reading right now. She'll put you to sleep, she'll make your ears bleed, she'll piss on you and call it rain. She's a no-talent loser. That's all I got so far. Can you guys hear that? What the hell is that noise? Wait a minute. Oh my God, this clock is possessed. Day 5 without electricity. I ran out of clean clothes on Tuesday. I haven't had a shower in 6 days. I can't sleep all night because of all the itching. Help. Day 6, with no water and power. There's still trees in the road outside my house. Road crews haven't even gotten to my neighborhood yet. I have to work all day tomorrow, and I feel like a human grease stain. So that should be fun. It's getting to a point now where every time I manage to get to sleep, I have a dream that the power is back on, and I wake up all excited, only to choke on bitter tears when I find out it's not. Good news is that I managed to shave yesterday before my electric razor crapped out. Man, that's what's going on right now. Ooh. Ah. Look at the amazing dancing light. Watching it too long will give you a seizure. Ooh. Ah. Day 8 without water and power. Yesterday the work crews finally started clearing the trees out of the road in my neighborhood, but I still have no electricity. There are houses 100 feet from mine that have their electricity back, but me, shit out of luck.